Want to know how in less than 24 hours I ended up on a wealthy man's yacht and paid without even trying? Listen in on some story time right now. Hey guys, happy Halloween and welcome back to my channel. Or should I be welcoming me back because I know it's been a while. Yes, I know I haven't posted, but I've been busy. Plus, I don't just want to put out any old content just to do it. I want everything I put out to be actually helpful to my subscribers and anyone else that stumbles across this channel. So, moving on. Do you like my Halloween costume? I'm being Vivian, how fitting, from Pretty Woman today for obvious reasons. Plus, this is the only day I can freestyle as myself. Yeah. So this should definitely get the conversation going. If it didn't before, today is the day that you can freestyle and actually have your outfit be a conversation piece. Yes, let's do it. Let me show you the full thing. Work it, own it. And I have the boots too, but I'm not wearing them right now. I'll wear them when I leave the house. In any case, let's get into this story time. This video is actually for my short-term freestylers, aka his. So if you want to learn about getting money quickly, this video is for you. The main reason I'm putting this video out is to let you know that the wealthy men are back outside. Plus, as usual, I will be sharing a quick tip. This time, it's on a key phrase that I mentioned to let him know that I want him to give me money. Okay, story time. So a couple of Saturdays ago, and I usually don't freestyle on weekends, by the way. Too much riffraff to weed through. I just don't do it. That's like amateur hour. However, I had just wrapped up with a client and I decided to go out to one of my tried and true watering holes, an upscale restaurant in South Beach. And if you want to know which one it is, ask me inside Patreon. Patreon.com/TSEGP. It's only $1 a month to join, and it goes towards the help with admin costs for the show's podcast. Okay, so in any case, this particular client that I had just left likes me to dress up in gym clothing when I visit his building for discretion reasons. So think sexy yoga gear. I basically look like a sexy trainer when I go visit him. So I still have cleavage. It's like yoga. I have cute sneakers, I head out to my favorite spot in my sexy gym clothes and cute sneakers after my session with him. And I had some cleavage going. My body still looks good, obviously, but I'm not how I would normally dress when I go out freestyling, which is normally a cocktail dress and heels. Those are my go-to tried and true hoe uniform, if you will. Anyways, I have my favorite bartender there, which is always helpful, by the way, ladies. Make sure you're making friends with the staff because they can be the ones to make you feel comfortable and even give you the dish on different people at the bar. Plus, when people see that you're known in certain spaces, they automatically accept you as one of their own because they see you as someone who's likable. They're subconsciously picturing you out with them in public, and they're like, oh, so this is how she would be if I took her out. They don't know they're doing this, but everyone's doing this. Everyone's subconsciously judging you. So yeah, keep that in mind. Anyways, I walk in and I sit down next to Mr. Yacht. That's what we're going to call him. And this guy is a bona fide multimillionaire. He's the guy that invented that one thing that everyone uses all over the world. And now he makes money on it till he dies and his kids will continue to make money on it. That's how rich he is. Of course, I didn't know this at first, but a little bit of research I did before I saw him the next day in less than 24 hours, and I figured it all out. So you have to learn how to do your research too, ladies. Know who you're dealing with. Know if they can afford you, and this guy could more than afford me. But of course, these are also the types of men that I naturally attract anyway. I don't know. I just feel like maybe just years of doing this, my energy only attracts men with money. I don't know how to explain it, but I'm not complaining. But in any case, I sit down and my favorite bartender already comes over to me and offers me my favorite drink, which is a glass of champagne, if you know me. And then he gives Mr. Yacht a drink. And then Mr. Yacht says something to me and I'm flirting back, but I'm kind of busting his balls, which is another tip. don't be afraid to flirt and mess with him a little bit. Like poke a little bit of fun. Nothing too crazy that would hurt their ego, but just a little bit of fun, something harmless. Because men like him are so used to everybody saying yes, yes, sir, yes, this, that when they find someone who contradicts them in a flirtatious way, they love that shit. So I think he said something to me like, "Oh, champagne, that's a girly drink, huh?" He was drinking scotch. And I'm like, "Well, not everyone is an alcoholic, babe." I said with a smile, flirting, and he loved it immediately. Plus, I was also like, I'm very touchy-feely, but in a good way with men, because I know they're zones to touch that will make them like love me. I think it's just from years of being a stripper. So you kind of pick up those skills. So as I'm telling him he's an alcoholic, I'm massaging his shoulder, but like in a sensual way. I'm massaging the back of his neck, and he's loving it. He probably doesn't even know I'm doing it, but but it worked out. Anyways, I'm like, not everyone is an alcoholic, babe. And he was drinking his scotch, and he started laughing. We both started hitting it off. We chatted for a little bit. He's married, which he let me know pretty much immediately because he showed me a picture of his wife because he wanted me to know that he had a type. I mean, this lady looked like she could be my older sister. So yeah, he wanted me to know I like you, which was good. Charming guys have a way of doing certain things. He asked me for my number and immediately calls the number, I guess, to make sure I wasn't giving him the wrong number, which I thought was kind of funny. And then we say our goodbyes because he had been there longer than me. I had just gotten there, and that was my first drink of the night. He had been there for dinner and all that good shit. But anyways, we say our goodbye. He leaves, and then he calls me 5 minutes later asking me if I could drive him home in his car because he's drunk. That was just his way of asking me if I would go home with him. But I told him that I drove as well, so I couldn't drive him home. And normally, by the way, I do not drive when I go freestyling. I don't drink and drive. I Uber everywhere. But since I was already there with my client, I drove there. I just figured I'll have one glass of wine and call it a day. So, but if I hadn't driven, I probably would have driven his car to see what he drove, see where he lived, and collect my check because clearly that's what he wanted. But in any case, he was a little bummed out that I couldn't drive him home, but we said goodbye. And then the next day, he texted me in the morning asking me to come have lunch with him on his boat. The minute he said that, I knew it was going to be a big boat. And that's another tip. Wealthy people say boat. They don't say yacht. For some reason, people like to say yacht. But if people that own boats, they never call it a yacht. They wouldn't say, "Oh, come on my yacht." They're like, "Come on my boat." So when he said that, I already knew. And plus, based on the conversation we had, I kind of already knew he had money. Plus, then I Googled him when I got home. I knew he had money. But in any case, I arrived at his home to a 100-foot boat, and it was immaculate. He had his captain there and his stewardess tending to us. And for reference, for ladies who want to know what size boat is a good boat, if somebody said they own a boat, 50 foot and up is pretty good. Now, if they're chartering, it should probably be a little bit bigger because, they're trying to impress you. Whatever. But we're having lunch, we're chatting, we're flirting, good vibes all around. And then he hints at us getting physical in a very charming way. Only in a way that a gentleman would do it. Like, you could tell he had definitely done this before. And he didn't say it in a rude way. It was very debonair, very rico suave, very James Bond. But I had to let him know, of course, that I had to be paid for my time with a key phrase that always does the trick for me. This key phrase lets me know if a guy is serious or if he's full of it. And if you want to know what it was, send me a message on Patreon. Can't give all the secrets out to the world. We don't want the guys using it against us. Plus, we got to keep some things to ourselves. So send me a message on Patreon and I'll let you know what phrase that I use. After I utter this phrase, he basically agrees and throws out a number, which his number was very much on par with my number. I didn't have to negotiate. He has definitely done this before. It was a beautiful engagement, really. Like, everything flowed. We genuinely enjoyed each other and we had an amazing time. And that's another tip for you. If it's not flowing, walk away. Because there are way too many willing and able men out here for you to waste your time struggling and fighting with someone who doesn't see your worth, someone who wants to negotiate. I hate that. Like, just this guy knows, look, I'm a busy man. I want to have a good time. Let me pay her what she's worth so I can have an amazing time. Like you could tell he wasn't about the bullshit or whatever, which I love. That's my speed. Like the guys that want to negotiate and whatever, and then you have to leave. But I didn't think he was going to waste his time by having me come to his boat and then leaving him blue balled. That wouldn't be good. Anyways, after our wonderful time together, we say our goodbyes. He tells me that he will reach out to me when he's back in town. Miami is his second home. And that's pretty common here in Miami. A lot of wealthy guys have a home here. They have a home elsewhere, a few other homes, whatever. But Miami is his second home. So he's like, whenever I'm in town, I will, reach out to you, which is fine. But remember, he married. So I'm not expecting this to be like a, long-term, whatever. This guy, I know whenever we hang out, we're going to have a great time. I'm going to get paid. Bada bing, bada boom. Perfect. So that's it. That's the end of story time. Ladies, go out and freestyle. This was even a reminder to myself because I've been a little lazy since the pandemic with going out. But season is here and we're getting back on it. Let's go get those coins. And don't forget, if you want me to send you suggestions on where to freestyle in your area, send me a message inside Patreon. I know not everybody lives where I live, and you might need a little bit of help figuring out where to go freestyle. I got you. Send me a message inside Patreon. So get out there and prosper, ladies, and I will catch you on the next episode. Bye.